Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Anne. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh, hold on for a moment. Please wait for me. Hello.
Hello?
All right. So, did you remember our last topic?
Mm, mm, I'm not sure.
What did we do last
Really?
class?
Um, I'm not remember. Let me see what are the language and I think
Okay.
then
Again, we are still in changing roles. And for tonight, we are going to continue. Hold on. Oh, the book is not moving. Hold on. All right. Can you see the book?
yes. Okay.
So this was our last activity. You answer these three questions. You have this paragraph, and since you already read this, I guess we just have to continue with the questions. Now, match the underlined words or phrases in the passage with their definitions. So we have words and phrases from numbers 1 to 6, and we also have definitions from letters A to F. You have to match these numbers to its right definitions. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So while you are answering, let me be the one who's gonna read this first. Number
Okay.
1, have witnessed. Number 2, no doubt. Number 3, content. Number 4, soul. Number 5, financial burden. And number 6, consequently. We also have definitions. Letter A, pressure to earn enough money. Letter B, satisfied. Letter C, therefore or as a result. Letter D, have seen something happen. Letter E, clearly. Letter F, only. So again, developing countries have witnessed enormous changes in their societies, and the most fascinating one, no doubt, is the ever increasing involvement of women in education and employment. More and more women in these countries are entering university, getting higher education degrees, and going out to work. They are no longer content with staying at home in the sole role of a housewife. This dramatic change will greatly affect the socioeconomic picture of these countries. With more women going out to work, the financial burden of the male breadwinners in the family will be reduced. However, along with this, they will no longer be the dominant figures, the sole decision makers, and will learn to share the housework. This change will certainly be advantageous for children. They will get more affection and care from their fathers. They will also learn to be more independent since both parents will work. The service sector will therefore be the first to be challenged. There will be greater demand for child care provision, convenience foods, housework services, and after school activities and tutoring services. With higher education and more money to spend, people will be expecting better quality services and higher living standards. This consequently will help develop the country's economy. Wow, so fast. All right, let's see. Number one, letter D. Number two, letter E. Number three, letter B. Number four, letter F. And number five, it's letter A. And number six, it's letter C. So your wrong answer is three and four. So you've got four correct answers. Now, can you please read this together with the correct answer?
On happiness, happy. No doubt is place content is satisfied. So is always financial burden is pressure to earn enough money and family. Consequently, is therefore as a result.
Mhm. Okay, that's good. Now, here are some predictions about the changing roles of males and females in the future. Can you please read all of this from numbers 1 to 6?
More men will be stay-at-home dads, looking after the children and doing housework. It will be normal for women to ask men to marry them. The husband will also get paid leave when his wife gives birth, but have a family school. Teaching staff will be male. There will be more female police careers, such as the police, the army, security guards, and private detectives will no longer be male-dominated.
Again, male dominated.
Male-dominated.
Mhm. Now, can you tell me which sentences you are agree with? So
What English is it?
here are some predictions about the changing roles of males and females in the future. Can you tell me which sentences you are agree with?
Um, one,
Number
one, one,
one. What
one.
else?
Yeah.
Only number one.
Number three. Yes, and number six. Number one, three, and six.
Number one, three, and six.
Number three and six. Yes. One, three, and six.
Oh, one, two, and six.
Yeah.
One. Oh, okay. Why are you not agree with numbers with number three first? The husband will also get paid leave when his wife gives birth. Why? Why you don't agree with this?
Oh no, I agree with this. I agree with this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and the sentence I don't choose. I'm not agree.
So why are you not agree with some of the sentences? Can you try to explain it more?
Yeah. Mm, how about I think in the future the women will have important role. I mean,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I
Mhm.
think about this. I have think about this um, problem. The problem, because women, they just that women can do the work men do.
Okay, that's good. Mhm. All right. Now let's move to the next one. So listen to the description of some changes in the roles of women in Kenya. Decide if the statements are true or false. So we have numbers 1 to 5 here, and we also have audio. You have to listen to the audio for the description of some changes in the roles of women in Kenya. And after that, you have to read each sentence and tell me if it's true or false. Did you understand?
No. It's too for.
Again, you have to listen to the audio, and after that, you have to answer this numbers 1 to 5. Tell me if it's true or false based on the audio. Did you get it?
Okay.
Did you get it?
I guess it's like super.
All right. So again, listen to the description of some changes in the roles of women into true or false.
Okay.
Okay, let's start.
Activity 2. Listen to the description of some changes in the statements are true or false.
Sorry.
Back in the mid 20th century,
Yes.
Okay.
Should I
Okay.
continue?
Kenya was a more male dominated society compared to today. Men were ahead of women in both education and employment, but the situation has changed a lot since then. More and more women work these days. They earn to support their families and must be financially independent. More women study nowadays. Higher education has witnessed a great rise in the number of women attending colleges and universities. Let's look at some figures. In 1995, 65% of Kenyan females stayed at home as housewives. This number dropped dramatically to 47% in 2010. It is predicted that the number will keep
Sorry.
falling to around 30%.
The work is too fast. It's very fast. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, let's try again.
It's too fast. I can't hear. It's blah, blah,
Okay,
blah, 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 blah.
what about this one? Let's try and tell me if it's still the same. Okay.
Okay.
Activity 2. Listen to the description of some changes in the roles of women in Kenya. Decide if the statements are true or false. Back in the mid-20th century, Kenya was a more male-dominated society compared to today. Men were ahead of women in both education and employment, but the situation has
Oh,
changed a lot since then.
it's too fast.
More and more women work these.
It's not really
Okay.
fast in my connection. I think it's because of your internet. Can you try to go out and zoom and then come back again?
Okay.
Uh-huh. Hello?
Uh,
Hello?
yes, seriously.
Okay, let's try again.
Okay.
Okay, for a moment. Okay, let's see.
Activity 2. Listen to the description of some changes in the roles of women in Kenya. Decide if the statements are true or false.
Back in the mid 20th century, Kenya was a more male dominated society compared to today. Men were ahead of women in both education and employment, but the situation has changed a lot since then. More and more women work these days. They earn to support their families as well as to be financially independent. More women study nowadays. Higher education has witnessed a great rise in the number of women attending colleges and universities. Let's look at some figures. In 1995, 65% of Kenyan females stayed at home as housewives. This number dropped dramatically to 47% in 2010. It is predicted that this number will keep falling to around 30% in 2025. Only 22% of university students were girls in Kenya in 1995. 15 years later, in 2010, this number went up to 36%. Research shows that it will keep rising, and in 2025, about 48% of the student population will be made up of females.
Can I listen again?
Activity 2. Listen to the description of some changes in the roles of women in Kenya. Decide if the statements are true or false.
Back in the mid 20th century, Kenya was a more male dominated society compared to today. Men were ahead of women in both education and employment, but the situation has changed a lot since then. More and more women work these days. They earn to support their families as well as to be financially independent. More women study nowadays. Higher education has witnessed a great rise in the number of women attending colleges and universities. Let's look at some figures. In 1995, 65% of Kenyan females stayed at home as housewives. This number dropped dramatically to 47% in 2010. It is predicted that this number will keep falling to around 30% in 2025. Only 22% of university students were girls in Kenya in 1995. 15 years later, in 2010, this number went up to 36%. Research shows that it will keep rising, and in 2025, about 48% of the student population will be made up of females.
Did you got all the answers?
Yes.
Are you ready to answer?
Yeah.
Okay, please read each numbers and tell me if it's true or false.
Kenya was more
Oh,
dominated in the mid
okay, continue.
Kenya was more dominated in the mid-20 into
Number two.
Commonwealth could be financially independent too.
Uh-huh. Please continue.
The number of women attending college and universities has grew.
Mhm.
About one-third of Kenyan women stay home and housewives in 1995. For
Mhm.
in 2025, more than half of the student population in Kenya will live in home.
All right, let's see. Number one, Kenya was more male dominated in the mid 20th century than now. It's true. Number two, women work to be financially independent. True. Number three, the number of women attending colleges and universities has risen. Number three, true. Number four, about one third of Kenyan females stayed at home as housewives in 1995. It's false. And number five, in 2025, more than half of the student population in Kenya will be girls. It's false. Very good. And you got all the correct answer. So now let's continue. Percentage of women in Kenya staying at home as housewives in 1995, 20 and 10, 20 and 25. Percentage of women in Kenya attending colleges and universities in 1995, 20 and 10, 20 and 25. So again, listen to part 2 again and fill the blanks with the correct information. Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
Skills 2. Listening. Activity 3. Listen again to part 2 and fill the blanks with the correct information.
Let's look at some figures. In 1995, 65% of Kenyan females stayed at home as housewives. This number dropped dramatically to 47% in 2010. It is predicted that this number will keep falling to around 30% in 2025. Only 22% of university students were girls in Kenya in 1995. 15 years later, in 2010, this number went up to 36%. Research shows that it will keep rising, and in 2025, about 48% of the student population will be made up of females.
Did you got the answers or do you want to listen again?
can I listen again?
Yes, sure.
Skills 2. Listening. Activity 3. Listen again to part 2 and fill the blanks with the correct information.
Let's look at some figures. In 1995, 65% of Kenyan females stayed at home as housewives. This number dropped dramatically to 47% in 2010. It is predicted that this number will keep falling to around 30% in 2025. Only 22% of university students were girls in Kenya in 1995. 15 years later, In 2010, this number went up to 36%. Research shows that it will keep rising, and in 2025, about 48% of the student population will be made up of females.
Okay.
Alright, so what is your answer in number one?
What is 16 Let me just have
Okay.
two, four, five. Okay.
Alright, let's see. Number one, 65%. Number two, 47%. Number three, 30%. Number four, 22%. Oh, number four, it's 22%. Number five, 36%. And number six, 48%. So you've got five correct answers. Good job. What about in Vietnam, Anne? Do you think there's a like men is more dominated in Vietnam?
Mm, yeah, I think that is not in the internet.
Oh, okay. But what about your views about it? Oh, no, 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 no. Are there some other people who doesn't believe in women?
Yeah, there are
Uh-huh.
many people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So we have here, since you don't have a group, now I want you to think of a teenager's roles in the future. Just make a paragraph that tells the teenager's roles in the future. Just give me like three roles. And it depends of you. It's short paragraph or long paragraph, as long as you can able to express your answer. Okay, let's start.
Mm, the doctor sleeping. It is raining heavily here.
Can you say it again?
It is raining hot and dark here.
You don't have a fan?
What?
You don't have a fan?
Yeah, because it's raining hot and dark. But when the weather rains heavily, I often sleep well.
Oh, okay.
Can you make an example for the teenagers role?
Mm-hmm.
Fill in the
Like
letter.
for uh-huh.
Can
Okay,
fill
I
in the
will give you
letter.
just one. Teenagers' roles in the future is to like be more like be more responsible with their self. Like if they can try to earn money in such a young age, then they can do that so that they can also help themselves to have their own money and to buy the things that they want without giving a hard time with their parents, just like that. There's really a lot of teenagers roles, so just think. So you are now a teenager, right? So think about the things that you can do in the future or now.
Uh, I think the role of teenager is what I can describe. is a teenager. They are creative, more creative than old people, so they can think about the interesting imagination or anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Uh-huh. That's
they for example, they can draw on the street. Do you know the art on the street?
I'm not really sure.
Street art is it is that you draw on the wall on the street. You can draw nature, you can draw people.
Uh-huh. Hmm. I'm not really sure about it.
Mm, um, I don't know how to describe.
Can you type it?
Um, oh my god, it is black. Okay, yeah, I think I don't have anything. Wait, number two is hmm,
Yes.
uh, uh,
Uh-huh. Is it
number
hard?
two. Ah, and thing is that they can do the hard work than old people because they have the help, they have good help.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's good too.
Number three is mm, 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 oh, I don't know. I can't think about it.
Mm-hmm. One teenager
On,
role.
on the,
Uh-huh.
they can help old people. And stuff. They can help old people to do no. They can give old people the happy, the
Okay.
happy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What is it? It's called
I'm sorry,
education.
but I can't understand it clearly. Can you say it again?
They can give
They
give
can.
means of entertainment.
That's fine. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's better. Good job. Okay, now let's continue. Looking back, let's review vocabulary. Complete the sentences with the words in the box. So we have, please read the words in the box.
Individually oriented, responsive to facilitators, financially non-dominated.
Mm-hmm. So you have to use these words to complete these six sentences. All right? It's okay for me if you write the answer, but it's also okay for me if you just read this together with your answer. Which
Do
one do
we
you
have time to
prefer?
sing the last?
That's fine. Okay, I'll just wait.
I can sing. I can sing.
So number one, the feudal system promotes blank societies where women obey men unconditionally. Number two, most services nowadays
The
are mass
dominated.
focused. Ah, okay. I think I'll just wait you. Okay, let's see. Number one, male dominated. Number two, hands individually oriented. Number three, hands on. Number four, responsive to. Number five, financially. And number six, facilitators. So you've got four correct answer. Good job. Okay, since it's already our time and we just have to end it here and we are going to read this tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much for tonight and see you again. Good night.
Good